well, like, baby that's not premature, I don't want that. Because they could come up with a lot of birth defects. And you don't want your baby to be sick.
Now, what have you learned in the course of this program about some of the reasons that to delay fatherhood, to delay parenthood?
Some of the reasons to delay fatherhood is because statistics show that teenage girls, they have a greater chance of having premature babies because their bodies aren't developed. They're still developing, and they're just not ready for those type of commitments. And it's just the lack of knowledge that as a teen you don't really think about nutrition and I have to eat this and eat that so that my baby will be okay. Because it doesn't click into your mind that it doesn't click in most teenage girls' mind that the baby is taking in what they're taking in. So it's just, you really have to think about, will I be able to support this baby and give the baby everything it needs? Will I be able to get all the insurance I need for the prenatal care? And at the end, will my baby come out premature? Who knows what could happen? So just with time comes knowledge, and with knowledge, that just lowers your chances of having a premature baby.
That's a very profound response, but so often it's easy to think right and not always do right. What kind of skills do you develop in this group that you follow your own advice?
I think our biggest attribute would have to be self-control, and I have to say self-control because you have to stay in control of everything you do. You have to be aware of all the morals and rules that you have for yourself, because if you don't admit rules for yourself, then you can't really expect anybody else to follow rules that you give them.
And also, basically, it teaches us, because we think we can do what we want, but then no matter what, we always have to have self-control, because when we go out there to a walkathon or a talent show, one of the health fairs, we're always representing Healthy from Birth to Life. So we have to learn how, even though my friends over there acting a fool and jumping around, we still have to hold ourselves and act in a certain manner, so that just in case an executive who is actually giving us our stipends and funding us doesn't say, well, they're not really doing that much, so let me just take back our money.
So do you feel pressure then to always play a role?
No, not at all, because in life that's what's going to happen in life. In life, you have jobs and you have certain things that are attached to your name and the way you act. And lots of times, when you act a certain way, it is usually intertwined into your job or community services that you do. So there's just a certain way you have to carry yourself throughout life. It's not pressure, it's just something you have to do.
And also we do focus on setting goals. And so hoping that if we say, okay, what do you want to do? Okay, so to do that job, you need to go to college, right? Okay, making a list of what we want to get done in our lives in the next 5, 10, 15 years. And where does a baby fit into that? If you have a baby before you go to college, are those plans going to be thwarted? And so I think that plays into their motivation as well, to wait until it is an appropriate time to actually have a child.
I think to add on to your question about being pressured, I would say, of course, as a role model, and I do stress role model because we all are role models in Mount Vernon, in the city of Mount Vernon, because there was and is a point that every one of them and every one of us can give you a story of how before Healthy from Birth for Life, we were all, either overweight, bad eating choices, bad lifestyles in the healthy department, and if without this program, we wouldn't be on this TV show, and if we were on this TV show, you would see 4 totally different people.
In last June, I was fortunate enough to visit a program very similar to yours in Nairobi, Kenya, a teen group there, which also met weekly and developed social marketing skills. They're one of the driving forces for them as far as why they recruited each other and why they stayed with the program was because of the spread of HIV/AIDS among their friends, in their families and communities. To what extent is this something that worries you all?
Well, it really worries me because statistics shows Mount Vernon, 4 square miles, as small as it is, has the second largest concentration of HIV/AIDS in Westchester, only behind Yonkers. So it really concerns me because if you think about it, if we have so many people in 1 4 square mile, that means you come in contact with those same people every day. So you're gonna come in contact with them, you're gonna see them, and there's maybe times you may be in relationships with them. So along with this program, it just helps and teaches us about abstinence is a very important part, the only 100% way to stay safe. So it teaches us about that, and it teaches us about many forms of contraception just to help prevent the spread. And it also can direct us to other programs that are more well equipped to teach you about HIV and AIDS and how to help treat you. We have gatherings where they have an HIV bus where they do free testing. You could get blood testing. You could also get tested for other STIs that are spreading around. But it's just it has a lot of effect on teens nowadays.
Now, tell me about this. Do people really want to know whether they have HIV/AIDS, or isn't ignorance safer?
As I look at it, HIV and AIDS is a growing epidemic. So, if you don't want to know about it and you have a partner, you should still get tested and you should find out. So this way you're keeping yourself and your partner safe.
It's like there's a man behind the door with a gun. Would you want to know he's behind there? Ignorance is never safer. So you definitely should want to know what your status is, and you definitely should want to get tested for AIDS or HIV. And Healthy from Birth for Life, it is exactly what it says, healthy from birth for life. So you want to be healthy. So it promotes going out there and finding out what your status is, and with your status, finding out how to either help it, or if you don't have anything, keep on being healthy. That's what the program is about.
Encourage your friends by taking a test, by yourself taking a test. Because every time we have the AIDS bus, I always take a test. I tell my friends to come on, just take this test. Like, oh, I don't have nothing, I don't need to worry about it, but still take the test anyway. So this way you get more people to do it.
Again, the role models.
Safe, yeah.
Tell me, Michelle, what are the most important things that we've been discussing today that you really want our Westchester friends and neighbors to remember about your program and what it does?
Well, I think the most important thing is to remember that health needs to start at a young age. It needs to start at birth, and it needs to be for life so that you pass it on to the next generation. And I think we need to remember preconception health, even though you're not ready for a baby right now. Just the concept of being healthy for yourself, helping your peers to be healthy. It really just, the example that these young men and the rest of the fellows have set is what I would like to say with everyone's mind, and to know that, it is a misconception that young men are not concerned about perinatal health, because our group in Mount Vernon is primarily young men, and as you see today, they're very involved and very dedicated to the project.
And in these fiscally difficult times, why does this program need to be continue to be funded by the county?
I'm glad you asked that, because we actually just found out that there is a proposed budget cut of $200,000 to the grant that we are funded on. So I think that it's important to recognize that we are addressing the concerns set forth by the Department of Health.
May I add something to why this program should stay? Is because it also gives the chance to keep kids off the streets. Because if you wasn't keeping kids off the streets, like for us, I know I'll probably be in some bad things. I don't know about them, but that's why my mom always tries to help me keep busy. So I have a busy schedule, and then when I don't have nothing to do, and I need to keep something in my life, I go to Healthy from Birth for Life. It helps me learn stuff so I can apply to my friends' life. Well, help them apply to their lives. And it keeps me off the streets, and I don't want to go out there and get arrested for something.
Have you made new friends through the program?